got, it's all she got. I took a knock, it's everything she got. Tell them I'm defending again. It's how I owned oblivion. Forget me not, or I'll never stop. Never stop. Never, ever stop. It's 4 p.m. Bad shit is closing in. Put the stereo on, boost the top, and can't write a song. Strap the capo on, can't close the deal. Play Defender till dawn. Forgive me, I'm ready to live. And tell them I'm defending again. It's how I owned oblivion. Forget me not, or I'll never stop. Never stop. Never, ever stop. There is? Good. I've learned that if I don't answer all the questions that I get emails. And first off, I get emails like you wouldn't believe. Like, if anything weird happens, just know that I'm going to get an email. I played in, where was I? I was in Philadelphia, and it was this. Listen, sometimes the houses, like, you get a window into like real money, and it can fuck you up. You know what I mean? If you're around, it's corrosive. But this house was like really nice. The guy was he's a heart surgeon for like infants. So I am assuming that that's highly monetizable. Right? So the place was like beautiful, and so I'm playing here, and there's couches and chairs, and then there's like this plush carpet, and someone came in. This is very, very unusual. Someone came in 20 minutes late. So that doesn't happen. And it was a guy, and it was, I'm assuming his girlfriend. So they came in, and I said, hey, there weren't any seats, so I said, hey, if you guys want to sit down here, you're welcome. So they came and sat down there, and I remember he had like a bag, and it had kind of like an alcohol, like a liquor kit. And so, you know, listen, all I have is this and my voice, so I got to keep tabs on this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we've got like people here that are late, and they're like making like drinks. You know what I mean? Like cocktails, right? And so he's kind of whispering. I'm just, so I'm playing the song, and they're whispering. I'm like, well, they're just talking about like, should I put another slice of lime in? Gin Ricky or whatever the fuck. American man, keep it simple. You know what I mean? Like, there's like good craft beer out in the world. You know what I mean? A bottle of wine, like so. So he keeps whispering, and I'm noticing that he's like drinking. You know. Like I have to pay attention to stuff. I'm policing the show. So he's whispering. So after like 3 songs, I start to like get eye contact with him. The eye contact is just like, hey man, like I'm right here. I'm not an unconscious performer. I'm part of the environment like you are, and like maybe you should have like a moment of like clarity. And so he stops. I play another song, and I'm like, this is great. I mean, everyone else is. This is normal. This is like how 70 shows have gone before this guy. So then he starts whispering again, and so I have to stop the song. And I'm like, hey man, listen, I'm really, because I don't want to hurt anyone, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm a sensitive person. You know, like I have conversations rattling around my brain for weeks. You know what I mean? I want to be careful with people. And so I'm like, hey man, I'm so sorry, but like, I know you're just like chatting and stuff, but it's like I can hear it because you're right here. And he's like, oh man, no problem. Absolutely. I'm like, cool. So I keep playing, and he's quiet for the rest of the show. So the next morning I wake up, and there is a massive email from this guy. And I mean, it's fucking, like, the longest email of probably 2019. You know what I mean? I have like unresolved things with like the love of my life going in. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and he's like, and the gist of it was, how dare you call me out? And it's like, you intentionally made me sit in front of everyone. You call me out, and I was like, whoa, I guess there's like 5% truth in there. You know? And so I'm like reading this email, and I'm like, I'm not in the mood for this. Usually I am like a delete block kind of guy. You know what I mean? I don't engage with anyone. If you're gonna, it's like, it doesn't, first off, you don't want to ramp up crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you want to back away from crazy, you know? So for whatever reason, I wasn't feeling that. And I was just like, you're fucking out of control. Well, this is bullshit. Like, what you did is like amateur hour, and you have no, like, this is nonsense. Oh, he asked for a refund. And I'm like, he asked for a refund from Undertone. And I was like, is this interesting enough? Does this sound like a crazy Why am I talking about it? In the question. Oh, by the way, it says on the Undertow email says that you can't record or take photos, which is not true. You can do whatever you want. I am an open source anarchist, drug-loving weirdo. So. And I'm like, give me your Venmo, right? Dude, I will shoot this. I will, 1 second you will have your money. So then I send that email, and then Undertow calls me. They never call me, ever. They're the most amazing fucking people, but this isn't about chatting on the phone. You know what I mean? And they're like, hey, we've got some like really problematic customer complaining about your show last night. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy. And so I'm like, refund the money, refund the money. Like, he's just crazy. So we hang up the phone, and then Undertow calls me right back, Jane, who's a fucking treasure. Like, my wife, I owe Jane so much. Jane calls me right back, and he's like, okay, stop the presses. This guy's girlfriend just called and says he's completely crazy, out of control. She bought the tickets on her credit card. He was trying to get the money refunded on his credit card. He's getting a different credit card. And then she sent $50 extra. And I was like, ooh, ethical conundrum. Moving on. What's your go-to snack food? After this show, I have my rented Toyota Camry. Listen, I want to say that the 2019 Toyota Camry it's really fucking nice. It's really nice. I own a 2004 Corolla, and I bought that new, $300 a month for 5 years. It hurt. It was expensive. No money down. My credit was good then. My credit is way under 600 now. Life will fuck you up. And I love that car. I will drive that car. But when you get into like a car where everything functions, and there's like, it's like way more comfortable and way nicer. It's like, whoa, my life is comfortable. So if you want to see my snack game after the show, it's right there. I'll open up my trunk, where I have all kinds of special peanut butters that someone gave me in Durham. They work at some peanut butter place. And when he said that after the show, I was like, I don't want all this peanut butter. And then I'm like, I want this peanut butter. And it's all like really, really good peanut butter. And I've got a cooler am I losing anyone? I'm not sure if it matters to me, but just out of curiosity. But I got all kinds of snacks, but you have to see my cooler. And I will share a Spendthrift, lemon seltzer with you. When you go to Whole Foods, why didn't you believe 9/11 was an inside job? I'm going to put that here. This has to stay here forever.
Sure.
I'm going to play another song. Okay. I got obsessed with the dark web. Well, I'm still obsessed with it, but I got really obsessed with it when Silk Road, the first market, came out. And then he got arrested in my local library. Ross Ulbricht, he was taunting the FBI to find him. Not a good idea. I think that's like they just assign a task force immediately to get you. I think you don't do that. So, and it took him like a month after that. He gave an interview to Forbes, which is really, it's still online, it's fascinating. They busted him maybe a quarter mile. He's in my neighborhood. They busted. They zip tied him as he logged into his computer in the library. There was FBI agents like under, behind the stacks. Fascinating. The second Silk Road 2. First off, if there's a drug market called Silk Road 1 and the guy's taunting the FBI and they shut it down, don't start another drug market called Silk Road 2. Because again, task force, right? So they got him. That guy was a client of Tiny Telephone, and he wasn't just any client. He was a guy who had our keys. His name was Blake Benthal. He was like maybe 5'2", Texas evangelical Christian. Ross was also Texas libertarian, but this guy Blake was he carried a Bible with him. He was a Bible school kid. He went to Bible college. He had a key to Tiny Telephone, which is a studio I run in San Francisco, and he rented my piano. And he said he wanted to play my piano between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. And he really bargained me on the price. I said $400 a month. It's a 1929 Steinway. You have access to a studio that has hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gear. So he got me down to $200 a month. And he made a full-length record, not an EP, but a full-length album to a girl who was kind of like not giving him like any return information or attention. So he doubled down on this. Like he didn't just like write a song and say, hey, I wrote you a song, and it's professionally produced with like string players. He wrote a record, a full 40-minute album, gave it to her, and then I said, how did that go? And he's like, didn't go well. So this guy, while he's bargaining me on the $200 a month, he's running Silk Road 2. He's the main administrator of Silk Road 2. They were doing between $5 and $10 million of drug sales every month. At this moment, he's carrying around a Bible and telling me he can't pay $400 a month. He was a nice guy, actually. But I wouldn't never have put him in my top 1,000 friends of mine. So this is about Silk Road 1. Swiss scales with .001 details. Stationary drums controlled by rotary phones. Night sky and powdered light. Rock steady, steady rhymes when stars collide. I looked underneath covers. I pulled back and then pulled back. I pulled back and then pulled back. I looked underneath covers. I looked underneath covers. I pulled back and then pulled back. I pulled back and then pulled back. I looked first down until the man our library closed.
steady rhymes and warrants collide. Cold dust, go slow, you must. Are you ready? Are you ready for the real star fight? Underneath covers, I looked underneath covers. I pulled back and then pulled back. I pulled back and then pulled back. I looked underneath covers. I looked underneath covers. I pulled back and then pulled back. I pulled back and then pulled back. I looked deep, first hell, until our library closed the
If anyone needs to like read up on alcohol, it's my fear of being like stuck in a corner and I'm just like, I want a beer, and then you can't access the beer.
The hand that cuts barley, I'd like to know. The pale blue lips that blew the light into this stereo. Oh, 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 I'd like to know. Oh, 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 I'd like to know. Oh, don't it feel good to be understood tonight? You asked me when's the last time I stared into your sharp black jeweled eyes. Even then you knew we were through. Oh, 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 I didn't know. Then you got up to go. Oh, 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 don't it feel good? Oh, don't it feel right? Oh, don't it feel good to be understood tonight? Do you know how the West was won? I fixed my speed in the middle lane, turned on the radio. Oh, they played that missing take of Jailbreak. Oh, oh, I didn't know. Oh, don't it feel good? Oh, don't it feel right?
Oh my God. There's a lot. Okay. Actually, there's two of the same question. That's unusual. What's your biggest fear? My biggest fear, and maybe my only fear, and this is new, well, it's newish. My mom died like 2.5 years ago, and I went totally fucking crazy for 2 years, like suicidal ideation, just nuts, and many of you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But when that happened, I just had like one fear and one thought, which is like a fear of dying, and it's like a fucking bell that's like ringing in every town square, every street, every like moment of my life, and it'll fade, and then it'll just come back. And I went to my mom's house for the first time since she died like 5 days ago, and then it just like all of it started back up again. But yesterday I was swimming in St. Augustine Beach, and I was like swimming way out. I mean, the beaches here, they're insane. They're so good. They're just like, don't forget how good they are. It's unbelievable. And I was way out. I was like on the far break, right? And I was with all the surfers, and I was probably like maybe there for an hour. Like, and I was like, I mean, like, I was in the swim when I was 2 years old, 3 years old. I'm comfortable out there, but I forgot one rule. When you're out there, I was body surfing. When you're out there with surfers and you ride away